Hi, I'm the academic astrologer, and I'm here to talk to you today about Moon Neptune elements that might cause issues with fertility. And I'm really excited about this video because I've experienced it not once but twice in my own personal life. So whenever I'm talking about Moon Neptune elements, I'm generally talking about either a conjunction, a square, or an opposition. And so one thing that's hard with this is it's very, very tricky to pinpoint what the problem might be. So this might be unexplained infertility, or like the doctors just can't tell you what's wrong with you, or they can't tell you why you're having losses. So it's just really frustrating because there aren't easy answers. There could also be some Neptunian themes, such as alcoholism, or you might see somebody who's like a yoga teacher. They might be into Eastern mysticism, or you'll just see kind of this woo-woo perhaps. They might have mental illness or be on antidepressants. Or it just might be a positive version of Neptunian themes, such as they're an artist, they're a musician, they're doing some of those Neptunian type arts. There's also can be a fantasy element. So you have like this ideal version of motherhood, you have this ideal version of pregnancy, of having children, and sometimes that can actually keep you from wanting to have children because you're so afraid that you're not going to do it perfectly, and you're so afraid it won't be that perfect version that you imagined. And I actually experienced this myself. So I have a 4-degree opposition of Moon to Neptune, which is not real tight, but it's still important. And I totally experienced this with pregnancy because like I had these imaginations of like a home birth or like an unassisted birth, and like it would just be so spiritual and magical and wonderful, and like I had all of these ideas surrounding like birth and the way it was going to be like. And let me tell you, I was pregnant 4 times, so I imagined it would just be this magical time, and it never was. I got almost preeclampsia or HELP one pregnancy, and then it ended in stillbirth, and then I had a miscarriage that was pretty traumatic, and then I had to be induced twice. The other times that I had a full pregnancy, I had to be induced twice for high blood pressure. The second time, I tried everything I could think of to avoid the high blood pressure. Well, the first time, or the first full pregnancy, I was trying too, but the second full pregnancy, I mean, I'm just thinking of every single thing, and I still got high blood pressure. So I never got a water birth. I never got all of these things that I imagined. The other thing is I was trying to plan my conception, and I found out real quick that didn't work real well because the first 2 plans, actually they were perfect. My plans were perfect, and then I had losses, so that went out the window. And then we sort of planned a cancer baby. I did get a cancer baby, a cancer son baby. But then the last one, long story, but it didn't work out quite as planned. So I definitely experienced some of that. I also just thought in general that it would just all be easy. And my fertility journey was anything but easy. But of course, I mean, there's benefit to that because then now I can hopefully help other people through everything that I learned. So another element is that you can see cancer. With both males and females, you can see cancer, like a childhood cancer where their sperm or their eggs are wiped out very young. Hopefully there was an egg freezing before that happened, or a sperm freezing before that happened, but you know, not always. And I actually have a personal example of this. So my father had a close Neptune Moon opposition. I don't know his birth time, but I do know his birth date, so I can see that he had a close Moon Neptune opposition, and he went through chemotherapy. His sperms was wiped out. My mom really, really wanted to have a second child. That was like a big dream of hers, even though her husband was had cancer and it was likely terminal. So my mom really wanted to have a second child, but they were told that my dad was sterile. Like there's no possible way that it was going to happen. But my parents considered it a miracle, but my mom got pregnant with my brother. So I just thought that was a really interesting example. There also can just be, like I said, complications with doctors just not frankly knowing what the heck is going on. So you may have to search for your own answers. That's what I've had to do with my Neptunian issues, is really had to search for the answers myself. But hopefully, like through that searching, I can bring answers that I found to other people. Another big thing is egg quality issues. And I had this myself. So I had a lot of, well, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I had a lot of losses, and they were apparently new to chromosomal issues. So I had to work so hard on my egg quality, and this is really probably another video, but I highly, highly recommend the It Starts with the Egg book, because it goes over different things that you can do to help your egg quality. Another thing is that you want to try to channel that Neptunian energy in the best way possible. So it actually helped me to kind of do Eastern mysticism. I did like some meditation and some different relaxation techniques that I think are like more Neptunian. And that also helped me get pregnant with my first child, my first successful pregnancy. Another thing is that in many cases, a donor egg might frankly be your only chance at pregnancy. I mean, there is a lot you can do with egg quality. I mean, I experienced it myself. I was able to have 2 healthy children after 2 losses due to egg or sperm quality. But not everybody will be successful, and they might have to resort to donor egg. It can be really hard because of those Neptunian issues of seeing this perfect pregnancy. It's just hard to give up that perfection, but you might have to be successful. Another thing that Nicola noted in her book, Fertility Astrology, is that Neptune with Venus can mean a propensity to diabetes, so you might want to be on the lookout for that, or try to tame your sweet tooth. Another thing is, she said Neptune, Moon, and Venus together might mean that you're going to have a pharmaceutical treatment at some point. So that, might mean like IVF or something else. And again, I just want to give credit again to Nicola Smuts-Alsop's amazing book, Fertility Astrology. Thank you so much for writing that book. A lot of this came from her book. Of course, some of it came from my own personal experience, but I just love that book. And so thank you so much for listening to this. If you do want to have a fertility reading or an astrocartography reading, please contact me on my website, academicastrologer.com. Again, I hope you have a great day.